I'm gonna be reacting to this what Marquett and Tazaryach. I watched both of this shit before. Uh, I ain't gonna say I have nothing against him, but certain shit that any nigga say I might have, it kind of get like, I don't like that nigga. Concern shit with age and shit. I actually watched a little bit of this shit earlier, and then I'm like, Marquett, he was kind of on some age and shit, because I'm like, hey, he kind of seemed like he knew certain information, but then he's like trying to play with it. I'm like, yeah, that's age and shit. So I don't know if we're gonna get to that part, because I got HD. What you got that shit? ADHD. Like, I can't stay for shit for that long. Got double back on it. Uh, you know, I'm gonna go because a lot of Bible shit. I really, I mean, depending on how this goes, I might speak more about that. How it affected my life and how I figured shit out and all type of stuff. But I still gotta think, niggas. Even though the Hebrews, I think they on some bullshit. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the leadership might fall because these niggas don't want to get on one accord, which you supposed to. Because you're saying Hebrew and the thousands of years ago, niggas had disagreements. And now niggas have all these disagreements. I don't think we do much different. So, you know, but we'll see. Time will tell. God's gonna show everything. So, but I already kind of maybe getting on tangents and shit. So I'm gonna try to play the video.
Have a legend
I probably skim
within the
through the
Hebrew. You
bullshit
must be a
parts
legend
anyways,
because every
because
time I
some shit
debate
just be
anybody, it's like,
bothering me.
yo, you need to go get Tazaryach. No, you ain't
You
debate nobody. Go get Tazaryach. So I went and got y'all
you
big
know,
Hobie. You heard me? I got y'all big Hobie in the building.
so
We going
I don't even know if the audio is right. If I could speak over it though. I speak over the
in,
parts I
man.
don't give a fuck about for real.
Okay, I was wondering what prompted it because I was okay because we been corresponding. Then when you hit me up, so shout out to my Israelite brothers, that look
Oh,
at
there
me
ain't no
that way.
fucking
It's a great honor. I thank the Most High for it. So I appreciate you reaching out. How's everything, man?
echo. It's
Life is
quiet.
very good, highly productive. I feel like I'm in a state of flow. How are things for you?
Oh, same way. I've been doing a lot of work lately, which is probably
And
makes me the
Marquette has
most
a thing
happy. When
about
I
him.
say work for me, like
Is the
teaching
word
and stuff
pompous?
like that,
Something about that nigga.
traveling,
Like he
counseling.
bothers me.
So it's
When
been
it comes to certain
pretty
shit.
straight.
I
Been
fuck with
pretty
him. He be
solid.
getting that white supremacist and
There you
shit,
go.
but
Okay.
certain
All
shit
right.
like nah,
You
buddy.
gonna come out with a new album?
You still
What's
helping
the
the white
album gonna be
man.
called?
So you're looking for an online casino in Ontario and you don't know where to start? Tap into next level thrills with BetMGM.
Ah, oh,
I don't know, man. You
muscle
Slim
killing me.
Thug.
You kind of look
Yeah,
at him
you
in
know
that
how
forehead
many
shit.
times. Listen, and that got to be a real thing. Two people I'm always told I
don't
look
really
like.
laugh
It's
like
either
that hard.
Michael Strahan or Slim
I ain't
Thug.
gonna laugh at that at all.
Those people, Michael Strahan, the football player, or the former football Giants fan. Yeah, I used to be in like Long Island, New York, and like white people would come up. Michael Strahan, I say no. And
Oh no.
initially, I used to be like, are they trying to Slim Thug reference? That always
Let me get through this
I
shit.
want to engage a
dude.
conversation about, as I mentioned in the DM, what is the relevance to you that the Black peoples of America believe that they are the Hebrew Israelites, and how does that benefit them materially?
the most important part, I think, is
He's gonna
what
get
Black
some
people I
worldly
think
shit.
suffer from is a
Marquette's
moral
about the world.
compass that could actually benefit them, that can govern them. When I say benefit them, I'm not talking about what they have, just what they have access to, but what it restricts them from. So when it comes to the lost, so the first thing is identity. So when we identify as Israelites, that puts us in the Israelite world as far as, okay, if we're Israelites, what laws, what God do they have? What laws do they serve? What rules, what code of conduct, how do they conduct themselves? For us as Israelites, once we determine that, that gives us something to go with. Most Black people would say, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm an atheist, but that's extremely subjective because you can stop being a Christian at any point. Christianity is not an identity. Muslim is not an identity. Atheist, none of those are identities. So being an Israelite for us is about that's your identity.
Well, those are identities. You shouldn't have said it like that. You shouldn't have said it like
And I
that.
want to give the audience a heads up. I'll be cutting in at various
Maybe not
points
say that they're actual
to speed
racists,
up the
but then
conversation.
you
We
have
do
to
have
believe in the Bible
time
in the first place
constraints.
for that. The
So just a
God-given
heads up to
races,
everyone that
nations.
I'll be chopping in periodically. So what is the relevance of saying that it's a religion that's guided by a book if you're suggesting that it's in your blood. If it's in your blood, then why do you even need the book? Shouldn't it just be written in your DNA?
Yeah, that sound like the Matrix, man. We know we don't live in a Matrix where you just
You
get
don't
zapped
even know
with
about the book.
information.
Like, you should
If that
know
was
a
the
little bit
case,
more
we would
about the
have
book.
never
Then
lost
you
our
wouldn't even
identity
need to ask that
as
question,
being an Israelite. So,
right?
like any
But
culture,
first, just to say it, the book literally. This is funny shit. When everyone questions, that's how you know niggas is the Israelites, because they always question niggas. They always be like, well, you should know it. You didn't know it. No, no. The whole point of the Bible is that at some point Israel lost their identity. They lost who they were. Even when they were doing, even when Jesus was there and he was trying to do it, niggas was losing their identity. They was going into idolatry. They was going into, they was trying to be Romans, Greek, all that shit, Babylonian, whatever you know what I mean? Like, that's part of the history of the shit. That literally explains why you have niggas in Christianity. You have niggas that are Muslim. You have Buddhist niggas, Egyptologists, whatever you want to call that shit. You know? And who goes to church the most? They say black people, not even Latinos. Which they will say these some. I don't really agree with it. I think it's more like if they still have to descend from niggas, a black person, Negro, right? I'm not saying that the ones that claim it aren't Israelites, but you know, if they feel it, they feel it. But it's niggas to go to church the most. So, and niggas are the most lost, but they're the ones going to church. So I mean,
any
that's not gonna be proof,
nation that has a
100% proof
culture,
to people.
Chinese
But you
people that
know,
have a culture, they have a written oral, they have an oral and written tradition of it. Every nation has an oral and written tradition. When we were brought over here as slaves,
I had this fully.
the oral lasted for some time. Like you can find, we have some people that their family line never forgot that they were Israelites, but then for the most part, that oral
They're
history
the book, one of the
was
books.
wiped away. They take away your ability to read.
IOIC having, I think the Genesis niggas having now. It literally says like Jews in Europe, there were Jews that were taken into slavery, sent to the island off West Africa. I think it was Central Pay or some shit. Island off West Africa, then shipped to the Americas. Do they teach us that? No, they don't teach us about no Jews going into slavery. They only teach about World War II shit.
You're
But,
right.
you know,
Now the written part
and that book's $3,000,
and so it's not so
$3,000
much
for a
that
reason.
you need it written down. Like even the Bible says the law will be written in our hearts. So I don't necessarily need the law I don't have to read it every day to follow it. But I had to get to that point. So that's the importance of understanding who you are, because black people, for the most part in America,
It's weird. These people
when it
don't
comes
want
to
to
their
believe in
identity, they
magic,
don't
but it's
have none.
like
They
when
don't
it
have
comes to
no
this
culture.
shit, they
So
want
you
it to
have
be magic.
to read, just like anything. You have to learn.
Is that true? You got you folks on the internet say the most ludicrous things. You said black people in America don't have any culture. Is that true?
Yeah, we have culture in the sense of when you start talking about black people with culture, you're gonna have to look at the roots of it all. So they're gonna talk about their music, which we have a musical culture. We have this culture. When Israelites are talking about culture, we talk about the God we serve, the laws we serve.
Yeah.
The God that most black
Music
people
is culture
serve
though, but
is a false God or a fake one. Like most
thing
people
is
So you
that
actually went away from what I asked you. That's a
the
red herring.
Israelites
So
are
I
musical
asked you, I
people,
challenged your
like
point
party
about
and all
you
type
said
of
black
shit.
people don't have
Talented
culture.
people. So
Right.
So you're
that's where the
conceding,
music
yes,
part
black
comes
people
in.
do have culture. You were exaggerating.
No, I'm not. I'm saying
Okay, so you're sticking with the idea that black people in America do not have culture.
no. I'm sticking with that because culture that black people have, music is. If you want to, okay, here's what maybe this will help for those in your world understand. If you think music is a culture, by all means, black people have it. If you think the soul food that comes from surviving slavery and what we had to eat is a culture, then yes, we have it. For us, because our culture is our actual identity and that was taken away from us, that's why we say. So we could be talking past each other. I could be.
We're not talking past
I kind of agree. Like, I'm gonna say niggas. I say culture changes. I say obviously niggas lost their culture and shit like that. But what was I gonna say? I'll continue.
each
Some
other.
of the like he's talking about food, right? Some of the food technically is from the cult, even Israelite cult, biblical cult, like the flatbread shit, the pita bread, all that shit. Like, you know, they would just say, "Oh, it came from India. It came from India." It's like, you know, first of all, the Latinos do it. Which a lot of that shit comes from the Afro Latinos, anyways. Even the dances. So, like, you know, the unleavened bread type shit, like, or unleavened. Did I say it right? I don't know. But certain things, that's why when I actually tried Middle Eastern food, we got shit. I'm from Toronto, we're GTA and living in GTA now. I think there's different ones, but we call Osmos. That's where you get what you. I don't think they don't sell gyros, but shawarma wraps and all that shit. When I taste that shit, I'm like, bro, this is just kind of like our shit, but like just a little different. But I'm like, it's ours, just no different. Like, I'll just put the meat on the rice or fucking or chicken or whatever on the rice or you know what I mean? It's our shit. It's the same
If
shit.
you're not a linguist or a cultural anthropologist, you don't get to redefine
I say our shit
words
better
in
'cause we got
general and
better,
in particular
depending on where
those
you're
that
from,
relate to
though. We got
culture.
better rice
So an attempt to suggest that
and
black
meat.
people in America don't have culture because they don't abide by your made-up religion is fairly ludicrous and insulting, when in actual fact, the concept of culture has been defined
Hey, here's the one thing I got a problem with this nigga, bro. This nigga would say it's called, it's fake religion, this and this. Nigga, your name is Satan Sinner. You get your name from the book. You named yourself after words in the book. Right? And I've been seeing clips where you talk about like translating and all that shit. Nigga, a word was translated into saint and a word was translated into sinner. And you made it your name from a supposedly fake book.
clearly.
Call yourself
It
Harry
consists
Potter,
of
nigga.
some of the following things. This is not exhaustive: folkways, mores,
Potter.
religion, language, dialect, clothing, ways of being, food, holidays, and many other
And a lot
things.
of the food
So you don't get to
cultures
redefine it
descend
because it's
from
out of line with
specifically like the indigenous
the fake religion that you
people.
created.
What are the
especially
black
the
holidays?
hairstyles.
Kwanzaa, I don't celebrate it, but
I'm doing videos
here's
like
my
that.
point. With regards to, no, I don't celebrate.
I think they shadow ban my shit though, but my YouTube, what's it, IG? But I might start doing this shit on YouTube.
Celebrate it because I have
'Cause I
a
ain't
different
getting no
culture.
views.
One second. No, don't interrupt.
That
Don't
shit,
interrupt, and
like-
don't fake laugh either. Don't fake laugh because I've seen it a million times, and don't interrupt. So here's my point.
Have you say
Hold on one second. Hold on one
This
second.
guy's gonna say he
We
don't fake
already
laugh.
pointed out that culture had a definition before you and I started this
Marquett, that
conversation, so
is.
you don't get to create a new definition.
that
Furthermore, I said it's a non-exhaustive list that consists of some of those things. And then you asked for an example. I gave you a very clear example. Furthermore, in my case, we practice Sasson culture. Culture is something that can be developed over time or it can be developed in a moment. For example, the fake religion that you follow, much of what it is was developed by Europeans meeting together and creating the religion. I yield the floor.
How? You have no proof
I
of
don't know
that,
if you muted me or
dumb
not.
guy.
No, sir, I would never do that to you.
He's like a
Appreciate
smart
that.
dumb nigga. Like he
I
be
did not
knowing
mute
shit.
you.
I don't
If
know what
anyone
to
in
call
the
it.
chat
Yeah,
was
whatever.
unable to
Fuck,
hear the
but
gentleman,
they
please
stupid
put
because
it
it's like
to
they too
the-
worldly.
No, that's cool. Long as you,
Got
if
the
you
white
said you
man's
didn't do it, that's
education
cool.
in their ass.
By you reading your definition of culture, you prove we don't. That's why I asked you holidays. You say Kwanzaa. Most black people celebrate Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Memorial
Which
Day,
are European.
Mother's Day, Father's Day,
Or white
all
people specifically.
European religions. The Israelites do
so
not
European.
celebrate or consort with anything European. So
Shout
the
to the
fact that you
Moors.
say Kwanzaa makes you look foolish. It doesn't make me look foolish. That was a brother that started that.
No, impossible.
It definitely
What the
is
fuck's
possible.
impossible?
Because Kwanzaa was created by a brother in Chicago in the 70s.
You just said
So
impossible.
then you're saying that black people didn't have no
He's
culture of
researching.
holidays until the 70s. Even Black History Month is
You're abusing language at this point. It's very disingenuous.
I'm
So the
not-
fact of the matter is that culture does not hang on the singular point of having a holiday
Bro,
or
you
not
just
having
be
a holiday.
feeling like, I be
Here's what
feeling
I-
like, like a white lady, bro. What the fuck are you saying?
Furthermore,
Go now.
Go ahead.
You interrupted me now, though. I was.
I already warned everyone that I would be cutting into the conversation at various points.
I do know.
So again, you're being dishonest there.
I'm not-
But I will yield the floor to you.
I'm not being dishonest. I just like to have fun too. I'm good at this. That's why the Israelites said you ain't talk to Cap. So now when you look up concept of
No, I'm the best. I'm the best at this.
You're not.
The only reason that they
Why is
think
it
that
color?
you're
It says
doing
crossover.
anything is because they're two
Aren't y'all
standard
both doing the
deviations
same shit
below
for
the
your show?
mean in
So shouldn't you be on
IQ, which
equal
is typical
grounds?
of religious people.
The fact that you think black people have a culture, then by the definition, shared beliefs, values, practices, material items define a group, learn through socialization, express symbols, language, norms, rituals. Now you show me where black people collectively have those things that define a culture, and then I'll show you where the Israelites, which is not a made-up religion, is not even a religion. In a religion, anybody can be that religion.
Here's the thing. There's things that black people, even like me, I'm Jamaican Canadian, like growing up, watching BT and all that shit, like there's shit we relate to. It's not exactly the same, I guess. The language changes, certain shit changes, but it's not gonna be shit that's like 100%. Technically, because of the curses of the Bible. The gang shit, all that violence and all that's a thing everywhere, pretty much, to a degree. There's probably some nicer places, where we at, but it's certain shit. It's not. I wouldn't say a super collective.
But
It's not
Israelites,
super collective.
you have to be an Israelite to be an Israelite. So you can't call us so a white person can't
Niggas
be an
like a fried
Israelite,
chicken,
but
shit
a
like
white
that.
person, African, Chinese, and Arab
Certain
can all be
clothes.
Christian or Muslim or anything else. But you cannot be that. Why? Because our culture prohibits that. That's the difference between us and whatever it is. You said you follow Sassy.
You're not speaking of a culture. One moment. You're confusing terms. The problem is that you are doing a very poor job with diction, and as a result, you're mixing in the concept of ethnicity, culture, and race. You're suggesting that race is a biological reality. You see, and another group cannot take on a biological reality, but you're meshing that up with ethnicity and religion.
Not taking a biological
That's the problem
reality.
here.
They just
So you need to pull those things apart. So first off,
you're trying to be smart
let me show you how messy what you're talking about is. Would you be so kind as to define the racial features that clarify who is a Hebrew?
A little bit.
I'm gonna see if I can get a pen. So I got a pen here.
You don't even need a pen because you sound more European the more you talk.
He does.
You see how you just said?
Don't know it,
no, don't run. I'm gonna get a pen. Don't run.
Wait,
go ahead.
Say that. I said you don't need a pen. I said you sound.
No, I'm gonna take this and write this down. What are the racial features that define the Hebrew Israelite?
Write this down. Marquett is extremely European and Eurocentric.
Don't run. What are the features that define a Hebrew Israelite?
You're gonna get to his shit. You just want to talk his shit first.
I thought you know who you are.
But why are you interrupting? Who's running from the question? I want you to
answer it.
I just want you to write these things down. Marquett is Eurocentric in his thought process because according to the Bible, it does not say if you have a big nose, a big head, hair, that makes you an Israelite. It doesn't say that. In the Bible, it says if you are the seed of the Israelites, you're an Israelite. Only Eurocentric Europeans and those that follow him think that you're who you are by the size of your head, the size of your feet, your skin tone, your complexion. Those are all Eurocentric ideas. Those are not Israelite ideas. That's not. Can you show? So I've answered your question. Now my question.
No, you've not answered the question. So if you don't mind, I'd like to make sure that we can pin it down. No, 1 second. I'd like to make sure we can pin it down. So I asked you because you've defined it as a racial group. So what I'm asking you is to define the things that are observable in that racial group, because you stated that you are unlike other groups. So being that you're unlike other groups, tell me how I might recognize you. And I'll give you an example since you seem to be misunderstanding. If I were to say that someone is Samoan, I might be able to give you some metrics that define them as such. If I say that someone belongs to the Negroid, Caucasoid, Mongoloid category, I can give you some specifics. So I'm asking you, you're a Hebrew Israelite. What are the racial features of the Hebrew so that we can identify some similarities which constitute a group belonging? I'll yield the floor. I'm going to write down what are the similarities that consist of your group.
My favorite phrases is listening is an art. You use the word race. I use more so the word ethnicity.
Right.
So ethnically speaking, you are the seed of your father. So example, we would see you, the world would see Bob Marley as a black man. We would see Bob Marley as a white man because of who his father is.
Right.
So now when we have,
I even seen some video where it's like the placenta comes from, it's like developed from the sperm, and that's what like help is like feeding the baby and like I guess giving the baby certain DNA and maybe his blood too, because I'm pretty sure the baby's blood and the mother's blood don't mix. That's a little crazy.
Talking points. When we have general talking points, what you're saying, we'll say, but black people look like this generally. Black people have kinky hair generally. But Africans also have kinky hair, and we're not African either.
Right.
So we don't go by Darwinism. We don't go by.
But I'll say this. Right. Which is like, I like motherfuckers to be the truth. That's what I'm feeling like. Motherfuckers like to say shit a certain type of way. Like, I'll say we're not African, da da da. Right. Boom. They didn't even get us for slavery. Right. From West Africa. Like I said, they sent slaves from Europe to the island of West Coast Africa then. Right. But you gotta say though, one part of history is that the Israelites did mix with Africans. They took Africans as wives. So I think pretty much Ethiopians. I'm pretty sure they was taking some Egyptians like when they were in Egypt for 400 years or some shit. That's like at the beginning of the shit. But even what was his name? Before they even became a nation, when it was Jacob had his sons. It was like it's 10 sons and like 2 grandsons. That's the 12 tribes. They were gonna sell Joseph, right? Which is still crazy because these niggas be like, "Ooh, we would never sell each other into slavery." But the nigga before it became a real nation, they was gonna sell Joseph to the Egyptians. The Ishmaelites saw him first, caught him or found him and sold him. But even his own brothers, when they came back, and he started like dressing like Egyptian, all that, they couldn't tell who he was. They thought he was an Egyptian. So that lets you know that an Egyptian, and the first few Israelites, which are the sons of Jacob, and his name changed to Israel, look like an Egyptian, right? Now it's just how the Egyptian
Eurocentric thoughts and ideologies and their beliefs. We go by the seed of your father, and so you identify Israelites by the laws they keep. You might see them with fringes. You might see women dressed a certain way. You might see the feast days we keep.
So now you're talking about behaviors.
Yeah.
So you keep running. You'll define something, and then I'll assert that that's the wrong definition, and then you'll run on to something else.
So, for example, Marquett, is your father a so-called?
No, we don't have to run to that. What are the racial features of the Hebrew Israelites so that I can write it down?
Can't read where that's an identifier for Israelites in the Bible. So we don't go by.
But you always, here's the thing, these niggas be like, well, I'm not saying the racial features are a guarantee, but y'all will go to the Bible and talk about Jesus having dark skin, like burnt in the furnace, brass skin that was burnt in the furnace, and then having white hair, white like wool. Right, so it's woolly hair. So you can say at least a certain amount of Israelites have woolly hair. But I don't know why niggas, like, sometimes they saying that, sometimes they don't feel like saying that.
That's why I use Bob Marley as an example. Bob Marley has a black mother.
Okay, so I want to make sure real quick. I just want to make sure.
I get what you're saying because Bob Marley has woolly hair.
You do not go by racial features, which is to say biological markers.
His father
is that correct?
So
no, you're saying biological markers.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
I'm going to explain. What I'm saying about racial features.
They'll say white people and it's like do descend from the same person. It's just, white people came out white or red.
Bob Marley, they call him black. Whenever we say Bob Marley is a white man, they say you're full of crap. Because when I look at Bob Marley, what does he have? Black features or black skin tone. But it's
I heard that the first time.
It's really because he's dark blue hair because he looks exactly like his father.
What are the racial features of the Hebrew Israelites?
That's what Marquett is not understanding, because he's saying racial features, but you're saying what the world would say is Bob Marley is black, but other than his skin and his hair, he has the same features as his father.
Are none, just say that and I'll write it down. But it seems as though you're tap dancing. Are there racial features or are there no racial features of the Hebrew Israelites? And when we say race, we're talking about that which is biological. I yield the floor. Which is it?
Before I answer again, can you give me
just answer? You don't have to preface.
Like I said,
it.
Israelites got mistaken for other people.
When you say racial features, can you tell me what you're saying the racial features are?
Don't answer a question with a question. The problem is that you are in a lack of knowledge. And now, having been exposed, you're now questioning me.
You're quite
saying I don't know. It's okay to say I don't know. It's okay to say I don't know. I asked you what you are,
brown eyes,
and you don't know.
slanted eyes.
So here's why I answer the way
There's
I
Asians with
And I
slant,
No,
with, you know,
you didn't
little
answer.
chin.
You
I
asked
don't
a
know. Like I said,
question.
fuck
You
it.
didn't answer.
My
You
grandpa's
asked a
Chinese.
question. That makes
Great
it a
grandpa
response, not an answer. Again, I'm a
Chinese.
master of language.
You got the
So
chinky
please
eyes.
I'm
You
be
asking
got
accurate.
Africans with the same eyes.
because
Are
I
they the same
asked you a
people?
question the third time. You didn't understand the
You know, are they the same people? I don't even know. I shouldn't even be talking with this shit. I don't even know if I can really be heard over it like that. But there's different people, different races that have the same features, bro. That's the whole point. So 100% just saying, with the black skin around nose, there's a bunch of black people with brown skin. Now, unless you see black people, all black people together as a whole, as the same race, which is European, then, you know, or white people, then you thinking through their
answer.
lens.
So I have to dumb it down for you. That's the difference.
What are
Actually,
the
I'm gonna pop
chances
this
that
up.
you have to dumb something
What's
down?
that for?
Now, what are the
Video?
racial features
Yeah,
of the
why
Hebrew
does that?
Israelites?
It's going to.
It's
All
fundamental.
right, comes back.
There is no set racial features for. Excuse me, for Israel.
Let me pause it. Let me go. Is that gonna be the right one? Look, this is cranial. Can I zoom in? I don't know why this one is like so slow. These type of files. It's weird as hell. What are you doing? Uh-oh. It's gonna say it's AI. I don't know. I don't know why. Got a whole GPU and this bitch can play all type of games with this shit. Acrobat be messing up. Like, look. At one point, I forgot what time this was. I'm gonna check it later. When was it? It's probably 1800, maybe not. Like, look, see, they say the Caucasian race. Look what they put in their shit. Arabian. Some people would say, you know, all Caucasian, Caucasus Mountains, whatever. I just felt like they mix a little bit. And they got the white skin. But look, Nilotic. Nilotic. Those are black people. Those are black Africans, bro. But you know why? A lot of them are specific, maybe specific tribes. They might have smaller noses, you know, certain type of cheekbones. You know what I mean? So you might be like, oh, yeah, they're Caucasian. They just somehow have black skin. Where's this shit? What's the year about that? Compare the cranial skin of Aboriginal nations, various Aboriginal nations, North and South America. This is weird. It's like they comparing. It's like they're comparing the people in the Americas to like white people and Africans and even some like Arabs. I don't know why they were doing that, but you know, they was figuring out. I could tell, like, I read some of the shit. There's lies in there. Let me go back to this shit. There's certain lies. They trying to make Negroes
Israelites. There is no identifier where if they got this nose, they're an Israelite.
I see why
they
you
got
niggas
this
do all that
complexion,
display
they're an
shit, so you
Israelite.
don't have
If they
that
got this
bullshit
color
going on.
eyes, they're an Israelite. That's Eurocentric teaching that you're doing.
Eurocentric.
That's
How
all.
is that Eurocentric?
Oh yeah. Also, let me go back to that. Oh, this shit don't want to work. Yeah. So you got, where's that? Where was I? Gotta go carefully because this shit sensitive. Now look. Oh, for your, Tartarians, look at it, the Mongol Tartar. You know, motherfuckers want to read that. Can read that. But look at this cost. See that this is just here because it's like I don't know why they do that. They just, if it's weird. It's like they gonna put the Caucasian family because that's what they're gonna talk about next. But they still gotta explain from this part of the Ethiopia. I don't know why they do that. It's goofy. But this is the Ethiopian race, right? Back here, really here. Look at where they got Negroes. So we're Ethiopians. Why are we saying we're different? These people say we're Ethiopians. Funny thing is, the only people I've ever been mistaken for was a Somali or Habesha. Nobody else. You know. And you got the Kafarian Hottentot, which I think that's something got to do something with Hebrews and shit. You know, they call them the oceanic people, Negroes. Some of them do be looking like us, like in the face, and we do matching the hairstyle though. You know, but I feel like, you know, I feel like that because we are Asians, like I said. Let me go back. Like I said,
Because
How's that Eurocentric?
some of them would say if their brain is this size, they're like
we mix with Africans. So it's basically, even if you go by what they say in the Bible and shit, basically if we're, you know, people don't believe it. Some people don't believe it. But like, say we're the Israelites, right? For Israelites, we're basically Asians.
this.
You come from Shem. Europeans come from Japheth. A lot of white people will claim that. So that's why that messes up their whole little thing of trying to steal niggas' identity. There's them people who already somewhat look like Africans mixed with Africans. So we're basically Asians that mix with Africans at a certain point. Right? In Egypt, the Canaanites, I think are the South Americans. Not South Americans, South Africans. I think a majority of them is, you know, they got some probably like some Hebrew and stuff in there, but mostly those are the South Africans. You know, more upwards, Kenya, Ethiopia, and all them places. That's where you get more the, Egyptians. You know, Egyptians, even though some of those black people, because I swear they used to show black people, like the very dark people, as Egyptians, but they stopped. They start showing the lighter skinned ones, the ones that look like Ethiopians. You know, and then the true Ethiopian Somalis, they're Cushites. The other motherfuckers, the Egyptians, there's like about 12 tribes. I think all of them got like 12. A lot of us got like 12 tribes. I think even the fucking Ishmaelites, they got like 12 tribes. So niggas gonna look different. People don't understand. Like, that's just, it's like, it's phenotype. Yeah, your phenotype starts somewhere as far as who you are, who you're mixed with. You know, the thing is, you got to get over the lie that all these light-skinned people were always there. Like, no, they were dark-skinned. I think they just mixed with white people, and then they instilled the colorism, and then some of them might have got dark or lighter, you know, or there could have been light people already. Like, you know, the cosign, they talk about the cosign people, But let me get back, but
How's that
get too much on the
Eurocentric?
tangents.
Okay, tell me the black people
But I
that
gotta try to explain this shit.
came up with this concept.
Stop
Hold
asking me questions. I'm asking you. How is that Eurocentric?
That's what a debate is. A debate is
You know, but I'm here
Yes,
for the
but
people
it's
for
your
the real
term, so
information.
you have to define your term.
And
It's
if
not
you want
my
me to
term.
like
It's your term.
pull up shit
So I'm
and
asking you,
more
how is
videos
it
to explain
Eurocentric?
it, then
because the
I'll do
concept
that.
of identifying people by
Right.
racial markers was started by Europeans. So my counter is
Yes.
to show me the black people that created this. If you look this way, it's because you come from this or
Yes.
because you come
I
from
even
that.
have some other shit. Should I even say it? Should I even bring it up? I got some shit that's like talking about the Native Americans, and it's talking about their appearance being between white and black. Like, what the fuck does that mean? And it mentions the Mongoloid, so it's like it's not even talking about the Mongoloid ones. But I know that there was a lighter skin Indians. I don't think I can see that. I can find that right now. I already got 30 minutes in. I'll probably look for a new video. Other video.
That's my counter question.
It should not work.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You have a counter question to me asking you to define a term that you used.
Don't be confused. I answered the question. Now answer my
Do you
question.
understand my point?
Answer-
You have a counter
yeah, it's
question
35. I'll
to
to you
35 minutes.
defining a term that you used.
But why you can't answer? You're the one running now.
No, I'm pointing out to you what
They
you're
ain't
doing is
speaking all shit.
ludicrous.
They just
Answer.
You use the term,
schematics.
Can you answer?
and then I said define it,
What's the other?
and now
Semantics.
you're giving a counter question.
Semantics and
Defining a
schematics.
term is not an argument. That's number one.
But
That's
can-
what
Defining a
semantics got
term is
something
not
to
an
do with, like,
argument.
graph lines
It's
and
just
shit,
making
and
sure that we're
talking shit,
sharing
I
a
think.
lexicon to have the conversation. That's number one.
still ain't
Now,
You know
number
what them
two,
words
let me
mean.
explain something. Number two, there's certain things that you cannot say that the Europeans discovered it the Europeans created it or the Arabs
They did
created
pretty
it.
much though.
No, there's some things that are immutable truths. So, for example,
No.
if you were to look at the Fulani versus, say, the Zulu or the Xhosa, you can see racial differences, even if you look at the Bushmen. And these are subcategories of race,
But here's the
meaning
thing.
that they have common features.
Here's the thing about these people. He's like, oh, category. That's fine, right? He doesn't know that those people could be the same exact race. All it takes is one person, maybe probably a few over time. It depends. Because you're talking about phenotype now. Like obviously, yeah, the phenotype said we were all black at the end of the day. Then white people popped along, but we were all black people. Brown, different. Yes, you had the black people with the straight hair. Indians, Chinese. You can. I just seen a video about it. I could, I'll bring that up probably in the next video, where you can see all that shit, right? But just to close out this video, what was he saying? Yeah, those people still could actually be the same people. You gotta think about it like this, real quick. Me, I'm about the same complexion as Marquett. Captain little, he's lighter. They say, oh, I don't know if he has white people in his family, whatever. Don't matter, right? If we all get women, especially if we get women of our same shade, he's gonna have a whole bunch of light skinned kids, or he can get dark skin. They might be in the middle. Marquette might get a light skin, and now all his kids are lighter skin, right? So now, but just say you have the same color. Now it's like, just pretend I'm dark skin. I'm dark as hell. I just get all dark women, right? We're all considered Negroes, especially Canada and America. We're black people. Marquette gets one his skin color, right? Now you got a lineage. You got all these light skin motherfuckers, all these brown skin motherfuckers, and then also depending on the women and their facial features, you might have certain facial features. You might have certain ones that have bigger noses, right? And it's possible that the light skinned ones could have all the big noses. The dark skinned ones could have small noses, because we see that in Africa. The brown skins could have the medium noses. Certain lip size, whatever. Most Negroes though, we got thick lips, good size lips, right? But now we separate, because that's how the world started. Biblically, it started from Noah. Evolution, I don't know what you want to believe. Niggas came up off the ground. Niggas evolved from fish. I don't know, a whole million people evolved and started having sex with each other. Whatever the fuck you want to believe. At the end of the day, you descend from somebody. So you could look at all those people, and especially if we start moving to different areas, you'd be like, oh, these are different races of people. Right? Now, the white people might class us all as Negro. They might play a little game with the light-skinned ones, which they do already. But we could all be considered different ethnic groups. But we all are three, and I'm talking about like niggas being three brothers, because it's possible. We're three brothers. Technically, if we're black people, we descend from the same people. There might be a little mixture that messes shit up. But we all the same people. So, I went on a little tangent. I'm saying I'm gonna cut the video right here. But it's all phenotype. You just choosing. If I go get a bunch of old Asian girls, my homie go get a bunch of white girls, our baby's gonna look the difference. Then those babies might mix. Then what are they? They're just a new race now. But that's what the white man wants. He wants we're just new 1,000 races now. No, Bible's like 18. I think it's more a little bit like 20. Unless they don't be counting Sidon and all them places. But I'm gonna cut this video. Part 2, I don't know when. We'll see.